Good morning, good morning, good morning. Alright, we got MJ here. And do your astrology for December the 24th. Remember what was going on yesterday? At 6:12 yesterday evening. We had a trapezoid going on there. I talked about. So that's, like I said, it's going to run through from 6:12 with probably some aspects going on between then and right after midnight, 50 minutes into after midnight on the 24th. Okay. Just want to make a note here also of that time. Again, I'll remind you again every time. The day is from when the sun's up to when the sun rises the next day. That's your 24-hour period. Okay. And the day is still going to be in Saturn, even though it's going to be after midnight. Saturn's still the ruler of the day. And we have Mercury ruling the night at this new time that I'm going to have up there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the astrology, and we'll get busy, and we'll see what's the events for Christmas Eve. How about that? All right. Now, this is the right after midnight. I'm going to switch that over. Okay. My software is just a little slow. Uh-oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Make sure I got it on the 24th. Yep. All right, it's 50 minutes after midnight. And let's see, before I talk about that, we're going to talk about the night, since it's 50 minutes after midnight on Eastern Standard Time. And remember, you got to adjust your time to my time. Like it's 3 hours behind me, California. I'm on the East Coast. Texas, I think, is an hour. Some places are 2 hours behind me, an hour behind me. So as you go around, then note the time. When I say night for the other side of the world, it would be day as well. So keep that in mind as well if you're somewhere else in the world. But the night for in my area, it would be the night's being ruled by Mercury, and we know Mercury's retrograde, and the hour is the 19th hour of the day, which on this 19th hour is being ruled by Venus, which is in detriment. We still have the sun at out of bounds at minus 23 degrees, 25 minutes. We have the moon exalted. It's at 22 degrees, 46 minutes because its exaltation is in Taurus. The moon is fixing to move into Gemini as well. We also have Mercury in a detriment in Sagittarius. It's at minus 20 degrees, 55 minutes. So it will probably eventually get out of bounds. It's not uncommon. And we have, like I said, Venus, minus 16 degrees and 30 minutes there. We have Mars out of bounds at 23 degrees, 38 minutes. We have Pluto being the ruler of Neptune. It's in its rulership. It's the only one that's in the rulership. We've still got Jupiter retrograde. We've got Uranus retrograde. We got the nodes at retrograde. We have Chiron at retrograde, and we have Vesta at retrograde. Now let's talk about the energies for the day of the 24th. The sun is at a minus 5 all day long. Like I said, its daily ruler is going to be when we hit at 7 let's see, sunrise is going to be at 7:26, and the daily ruler would be the sun ruling the day. And we'll talk about that when that comes up. Because most of what I'm going to be talking about, the first three aspects that's going on, is going to be dealing with the nighttime. From after midnight till 3:15 in the morning. And it's all dealing with the moon and Mercury. So I would say there could be possibly some dreams. You may go into a dream state. I know last night, yesterday, when I got up, I remember I had a dream the night before. Wasn't a very strong dream. It didn't stay with me real strong, but it was bringing something up out of the subconscious. That sometimes it just does that. Things on our mind, and we have dreams about things. I want to say Venus for the day is on this day is going to be at a -4. And she will not ingress into Sagittarius until December the 29th. And there will be no retrogrades for her in 2024. Yeah. Mercury for the day will be at a -10. Now, these are the energies of the planets in the luminary. So it's at a -10. Mercury will go stationary in Sagittarius, stationary direct, on January the 1st, 2024. The moon's energy for the day is going to be at a -5. It has spent 3 days in Taurus, and it will move into Gemini on this day at 3:14, which will be the last aspect at 3:15 that will be going on, and that's in the early morning hours. So tonight, as from the 23rd into the 24th, the overnight hours of the 23rd, it will move into Gemini. It will already be in Gemini by the time I wake up. And then Saturn's energy for the day of the 24th will be 1. Saturn's next retrograde won't be until June 29th. And then it will go stationary and direct on November the 15th in Pisces. Jupiter for the day, the energy will be a -5. It will go stationary and direct on December the 30th. It will not ingress into Gemini until May 25th, where in October the 9th of 2024, it will go stationary and retrograde. So it's going to give us some time there, about 5 months of direct, and then it'll go retrograde in the spring. Mars, its daily energy will be a -5. It will ingress into Capricorn on January the 4th. It will not go stationary and retrograde until December the 6th of 2024. So I'm giving you some extra days, and that'll be in Leo. I think last year went retrograde in Leo. I can't remember if it was Venus or if it was Mars that went retrograde in Leo. I can't remember which one it was. So anyway, what I have up here is the sun and its ingressions. Let's see, we're in December. Whoa, what happened? I need that. I hit the wrong screen. December, the 21st, which was what today? What I do? I'm doing this video for the 24th. When you watch it, it went into Capricorn on December the 21st. That is when the season began. Capricorn season began. Also, let's see. We're going to switch over to the moon. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I forgot I had 2 up there. Go back to the sun for a minute. I was looking at 2024. I did that earlier to myself. 21st again. Okay. December the 21st. It went into Capricorn at 10:27 Eastern Standard Time is when it went. Now I want to go to the moon. Keep that date in mind, December the 21st. It was when it went retrograde 3 days ago. Or not retrograde, but it moved into Capricorn. It ingressed into Capricorn. Let's go over to the moon. And we're going to look at that real quick. All right. We'll go down to December this year. All right. We had the new moon in December that began on the 13th. Now remember, the sun did not move into Capricorn until that 21st, and it started that season. So we already had the new moon in Sagittarius, is when our lunar cycle began. So the sun will actually ingress into Aquarius during that point of after the full moon, where it will be in opposition with Capricorn. Okay. Then when it gets to, I believe it's the 20th of January, go back to sun a minute, and let's see when it goes in there. January the 20th, it'll move into Aquarius. And then we will have the full moon. Am I looking at the wrong? I'm looking at the wrong day. I'm sorry. Shoot. I don't know why my page was turned. We'll have the full moon on the 26th of December. So let's go back to the moon and remember that date of January the 20th when it will move into Aquarius. And we will have the next new moon on January the 11th. Of 2024. I mean, 2024. We gotta go down. That's right, I forgot to change it. No wonder I was feeling a little confused there. January the 11th. Remember, it's already in Capricorn at this time. And the sun's not going to change till January the 20th. It'll move into Aquarius at the time. And the moon will be in Gemini. And that will be where the new moon... what is going on here? Yeah, because the moon will be in Capricorn. Because we'll have the new moon on the 11th. That's what I'm doing. Okay. It will join with the sun in Aquarius, where it already moves. And then we'll have the full moon on the 25th of January in Leo. So we've already started Capricorn season. And we're going to have the full moon here in Cancer. And it will be opposite Capricorn. Then when it comes around, we'll start our new lunar cycle with the new moon on the 11th, like I said, on January the 11th. And then on the 20th, the sun will then change into Aquarius, where then, and the moon will be in Gemini at that time when the sun moves into Aquarius. And then we will have, on the 25th, we'll have the moon in opposition on the 25th in Leo. It can get a little confusing because the sun moves the seasons, and then it begins. It's kind of starting the new lunar cycle in the old season, and then it goes into the full moon, and the sun moves into the new season, and then the full moon will be in the new season. So it's kind of like still dealing with something at the new moon that needs to be finished up, and surrendering. Where is give me, yeah. Because when the new moon happens, it's time to rest and let go. All of that no longer serves us. The new moon brings renewal and regeneration, but remember, it's still in that season of Capricorn at the new moon. And it's regeneration, but first we need to empty ourselves. The inward pull is at its strongest and invites us to look deep into our inner world and acknowledge both the shadow and the light. So then by the full moon or the new moon, not the new moon, the first quarter is when we actually start planting whatever seeds or setting our intentions. And that outward pull of the moon increases. And then it's a good time to take the actions and make decisions and formulate goals and move forward. Now, this is exactly where Vista comes in all this. Because this is where we aspire and we plan and our goals. So on the first quarter of the moon, which will be on the new year, January the 17th, okay, is where the first quarter of the moon will be. And it will be in Aries. So really, Mars will have an influence here to take the action that needs to be done. And then there will be the full moon on the 25th, where it will be time to shine and share what we are experiencing and doing. The full moon is a traditional time for social gatherings, festivals, rituals, and that outward pull still with that full moon, because, it draws us, pulls us in our emotions. The outward pull is at its strongest and invites us to be wild and free, to be sensually participate in creation and howl to the moon. That's where the animals, get real intense. Instincts are heightened and life force is activated. In order to surf the wave and use the energy for our benefit, we need to stay balanced, heart-centered, and grounded. Full moons are strongly linked to relationships, love, and romance and passion. Then we have that last quarter moon, which will actually be in March, the first part of March, the 2nd of March, or I'm sorry, 2nd of January. 2nd of January. And that will be the time to harvest and celebrate what is grown, which you've been really doing. And we will be going into the spring season by then, too, as well. Change and manifest since the first quarter, and the inward pull slowly increases again. And then we go through the wanting and, where we integrate and those sort of things. So I just kind of want to make you aware when these, especially when we start the lunar cycles, gets right in the middle there of where after the season, new season begins. Kind of gets almost to the middle of the season, and then we had the full moon. All right. So kind of done with that. Just want to let you know those little tidbits of information of what's happening. Oh shoot. Hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. All right, let's go back over to the aspects. Then, like I said, this will be again in the middle of the night, after midnight. Let's go back for 1 minute to the 23rd, which was at last major thing that was going on was at 6:12 Eastern Standard Time. All right, come on. We had the T-squares going on. I had to remember that. So you were dealing with that, and then after midnight is when we go back to this place with this trapezoid that we kind of get comfortable in some way. But remember, there was two trions there, but they're not there now. There's only the one, and that's dealing with Jupiter or Mercury. Let's see. Wait a minute. Sometimes I can't see these things too good. All right. I'm going to change that. Hold on 1 second. Gotta find it. It's the sun. When they get close together, and I'm only operating with one eye, you guys. It's the sun trying Jupiter, and that energy to it, and it being retrograde, knowing it's going to go, it's going to go direct on the 30th. And this, like I said, is the 24th, so there's only 6 more days before it goes direct. There could be this energy of waiting for expansion and growth, especially, when the moon was there, maybe becoming more optimistic in some way, of what with Saturn ruling the day here. But with Mercury ruling the night, there's something here, with the walls, and the foundation to Jupiter, and then the wall to the midheaven, and the ascending being in Libra. Again, the nodes, that scale of balance, with the opposition from the sun. Something here. You may dream, or if you're on the other side of the world, you may still be working on something here, or something you're becoming very consciously and aware of. Because you've got to think, the moon deals with our heart and our emotions and how we feel, and sometimes how we communicate about what we feel. Or it even sometimes may control our actions. And so with the sun is dealing with the soul, your inner personal purpose, your inner drive and energy, the source of your will and your self-motivation, and a sense of confidence, strength, individuality, and your creativity. And it's in opposition to the midheaven. So it's opposing, where you have to become aware of what here is trying to show you, or what you're trying to show. And usually it comes out through whatever your ascending is. It's what you show to others, that inner drive. But if you don't have a goal here, then guess what happens? You just sit in this place of comfort. That's not good. And because the sun's saying here, you gotta have the confidence, self-confidence, and the source of your own will to have the self-confidence, get up, and the strength to do things. And your personal purpose. What is it you're trying to achieve here? Because this midheaven is so close to Vista, which is the keeper of the spiritual flame. What is it you're aspiring for? And I know it's sounding repetitive, don't mean to be, but there could be something here, especially during the night, and with Venus having an influence here in that 19th hour, and she being a detriment, and she's, wanting to expand somewhere in life, grow. We also have with the moon, in the 20th hour is Mercury ruling instead of Venus now. Remember, the night's being ruled, the day's being ruled by the Saturn, but the night now at 1:40 in the morning could be, for you, some of you guys, it could be 1:40 p.m. where it's 1:40 a.m. here, 12 hours difference on some areas of the world. But there's a lot of stuff going on here where there's some challenges. Not connecting here. I mean, we've got the midheaven squaring the south node and the north node, and with the north node in opposition to the ascending, and the ascending coming in conjunction with this, something here is out of balance. Look at the quincunxes there. These are major things. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, come on, this is a major decision day that, you've got to decide something here. And you've got to consciously face it in relationships, or have the courage to make that decision, especially when it comes to the oppositions. You got a challenge here you got to meet. You got to look back at it in a sort of an objective way. And Mars being in conjunct with Mercury, or is that the sun? I can't hardly tell. Yeah, Mercury's conjunct with Mars. And there's also the conjunction with the sun as well. The sun in conjunction with Mercury as well. And then Mercury conjuncts and feeds that energy over to Mars, that you need to take some action on your own, your own free will. What in the world? Hold on. Sorry. But it's where, like I said, you got to activate your mind. You got to rethink something here, maybe of your actions and what you're going to do. Because this could be, especially like I'm asleep, my mind's maybe being activated subconsciously and my unawareness. This is where people will sleepwalk and not know it, but their mind is conscious, and it's creating them a movement that could happen a lot with people. We don't talk a whole lot about sleepwalkers, and how the mind just kind of wakes up and all of a sudden they're doing things, unconscious awareness of what they're doing, But just depends on where you are in the world and how this is going to affect. We have the squares from the sun, from Mercury to Neptune. Again, thinking of what your dreams are or what actions you're going to take. Am I going to face this challenge? Am I going to do something here? Am I rethinking what I need to do? I would say definitely think before you act. And with the ascending being in Chiron being in opposition to the ascending, North Node in opposition to the ascending, and the ascending, conjunct with the South Node, something here is definitely coming up. And I believe it has a lot to do with these quincunx that are going on, where you're going to have to have the courage to make some decisions here. You just can't just sit back in a cradle and say, well, I'm just going to stay right here in this one place, because the midheaven is not going to let you. Something's going to come about that you're going to have to do something. And Venus in the oppositions to the moon and to Uranus. And then what's going to be the kicker here is at 3:15 in the morning, Mercury, like I said, the mind is activated. That the moon now moves into Gemini, and there's a T-square. And with it moving in there, it's facing, what is it you're trying to escape here? This could be even if you're in the daylight time, okay? There could definitely be something here that could happen where you're trying to escape something here. You mentally, you may not want to deal with this challenge, but you've got to face it, because Neptune is where your spiritual vision, your creative imagination, your psychic ability to lead you beyond the materialistic world. Glamour and illusions are negative, and this is where you use your highest idealism. Really, and really rethink something here. Don't ever run from a challenge, because you will not have that growth. And also with Vista in a square here. Face the challenge, because your mind will improve. I mean, like I said, I can only use from my own experiences. There were times, health-wise, I'm getting older. I can't do things like I used to, so I have to use my mind and be a little creative in things that I need to get done. When you got a lot of health issues, you got to rethink things a little bit differently of what you're able and capable of doing, or even getting the support that you need. Now, this is all at night, and not only that, at 3:15, what's ruling the hour is the 21st hour, and what's ruling it is the moon. And the nighttime is being ruled by Mercury, and the day is Saturn until the sun comes up. And the sun's going to come up, like I said, at Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. This will go from the 23rd into Christmas Eve, the 24th, and the sun's going to come up on the 24th at 7:26 a.m. And the next event that happens, now this is when the day begins. The day is Sunday, the 24th, and it's ruled by the sun. And the hour is the first hour is ruled by the sun. And I told you the energy of the sun is at a -5. It's out of bounds. It might be some lacking here. And we still got the T-square going on. Has to do with Vista. We wake up with this challenge for the day. To have the energy to get ourselves motivated. You can either do it or not. Maybe having a sense of confidence and strength. Being a little bit creative in your plans or your goals. I mean, I'm just gonna take it easy myself. Then we have the moon now in Gemini at 2 degrees. Let's see, is that? And it's 7:58 in the morning. Still be ruling by the day, the hour still in that first hour. The moon will be focused on what we feel and how our feelings are affecting our thought processes. And it's in a quincunx. So there's something of addressing our emotions and trying to make some sort of decision here between what we are processing in our mind or what we may be communicating or thinking. Going over how we feel at this time. And the moon in Gemini is squaring Saturn. And this is where we kind of learn to operate within, the limits of society, responsibilities and rules, fears, obstructions, and limitations. Father, teacher, where we learn. So there's kind of that square going on with the moon to Saturn. Now, what we're moving toward, this is bringing about that cell again. It's all about our goal. What is it we're trying to accomplish here today? Where are we going? Where are we traveling? Where we're moving? Remember, there's also the trine there. The grand trine is part of this. What we're trying to achieve. And what's at the top of this is the sun. Sextiling Saturn and also sextiling the midheaven. And what's in the trine here, because we got like a trine or a sextile here, 2 sextiles and a trine here from Saturn over to the midheaven. With the opposition being what your plans are, which way you're going, what are you doing here, and the grand trine, which you're trying to create, your self-expression, your brings kind of an ease and a comfort, but you got to be productive in vision and have insight into something here, where you're going, putting the cell up, you're moving, your own free will, your inner drive, your energy. Some people really don't have a whole lot, and like I said, it has to do with this being at the bottom of something here, and it's dealing with definitely with some influence of Mercury. You're thinking how you planning your day, where we going, what we're doing. Is it gonna, we're gonna feel comfortable? Is it gonna, are we gonna be happy, celebrating? Some people will be traveling in and out the homes. Now, see, it moves from the sun and it moves over to you're thinking something. I don't know if I want to go over there, And then some people just go, to satisfy the family and whatnot. And then we have, be cautious because we have a T-square. feeling right back. You might want to escape something here. You might be opposed to something here. It's like I'm saying, if you're dealing with somebody that, we're all going to the mother-in-laws. Guys sometimes, if they're not getting along with their in-laws, they just don't want to get into some challenges and conflicts or whatever this is. Um, you know, every year I think a lot of people sit and think, do I really want to go over that way? You have the free will to make a choice to what you're going to do here. Some people try to get out of things. And then, like I said, then we, in this hour, with this grand trine that I told you was there, and some people may say, well, okay, I'll go to make everybody happy, but ain't gonna stay long. You know what I mean? You're trying to operate within society and you're trying to make everybody happy, but are you really happy in what you're doing, in the direction you're going? Because your emotions are what's driving this. And you also have free will as well. I think it was kind of funny last night. I think I was watching Gut Feel show and Tyrus was on there, and he was talking about, well, I just send the family on the way. They can go on vacation. They send me pictures, and I can do what I want to do. He kind of looks at the holiday like that. He wants to do what he wants to do and let the family go do what they want to do. But some people get offended by that. And it can, holidays can be very stressful for couples. Maybe, not so much on the grandparents or whatever, or the parents, because, you go to their houses. They don't, or sometimes, couples have the parents come to their house, the in-laws, and everybody getting together. Some people are comfortable with that and others aren't. Because I think, I was watching with Jesse, his thing with Thanksgiving, and it didn't go his way as planned. So he had a very stressful Thanksgiving season. And like I said, we put on too much of a show, I think, a lot of times with family. Oh, yeah, we'll be there. Oh, we want you there. Yeah, okay. But people just sometimes just don't want to deal with it. And it can be very troublesome. And then the grand trine, like I said, at this point, is pointing this out after, okay, I'll go along, but we'll limit our time. We're not going to be there but so and so much time. That's one thing I just don't like about the holiday season. I would rather, either just stay around home and just have the intimate thing, instead of, oh, y'all got to come here. I don't have to do anything except make myself feel comfortable and happy. Now, if you're dealing with somebody that's a social butterfly and they've got to go to everything, let them go. Let them go. If that's their thing, don't get mad about it. Okay? And then we're talking about at 12:28. And what's happening here, now the hour is ruled by Mars. It's the 7th hour of the day. And it's 12 p.m., almost 12:30. And somebody here is not happy with the situation. We had the sun in Capricorn in a sextile to Saturn, trying to keep, everybody solid and grounded here, and just trying to get, being productive, trying to be successful here in some way. Trying to keep, a good mental attitude and trying to really, that you have to really activate your mind, because when you go somewhere you really don't want to be there. So you're trying to say, oh, okay, I want this to be great. I want it to be good. I want everything to go okay, but it's not really in my plans or something like that, because it's dealing with a lot with Mercury. Could be even stuff, communication coming up about, oh, you remember last year when we went to so-and-so's, and all of the garbage that went on there, I just don't want to get to be a part of that. I mean, I'm really, we put too much emphasis on the holiday season of, we all got to get together, get along. I get so tired of hearing that. And trying to satisfy partners. Why don't you just try to satisfy each other? And like I said, if you're not, I don't want to say an introverted person, don't push your feelings on others of saying, oh, you got to be here. Don't make somebody feel like obligated they got to be there. That causes friction, because we see in that emotionally, with this quincunx of the moon to the midheaven, somebody apparently might want to be somewhere else. And, they just don't, it's their free will. It's like their free will being taken away from them. They got to do it to make everybody else happy. No, you don't. You have your choice. I just, there's too much emphasis being put here at this time of the year. But, don't stress other people out. Don't make them feel like they're obligated or that they don't care because they're not there. Maybe they just need a break. So they miss a holiday season. Wow. Whoopee. Don't you care about that person and what they're going through? And what they're feeling? Because this could really, really break down the foundation and goals and plans. Again, with that Pluto being in that quincunx to Vista, feeling out of balance. Nobody wants to be that. Don't guilt shame somebody. I mean, really. Don't guilt shame people you love. Don't make them feel like they're a horrible person because they don't, what are you, not sociable? Maybe not. That's my choice. Maybe that's the person's choice. No, I just don't feel like being sociable right now. Those are trying to push their ideals on another person, or maybe, you're, whoever that person is being the pusher, doesn't really consider that person's feelings at all. That's like a bully. Don't guilt shame somebody because what they need. I mean, when you've spent the entirety of your life traveling during the holiday seasons, there's a point when people get in their lives, they just don't want to do it anymore. They don't want the responsibility of, oh, you've got to do this. You're seeing people every day. Family members, you're communicating with them. Just because you're not there don't mean they don't care. And maybe some people just, there's garbage going on in a family. And this is the biggest emphasis I want to tell people. Stop guilt shaming others because of what's going on. There could be a family dispute, okay? There could be this going on, that going on. You know, maybe somebody just, they've spent their entire life and you're only half their age and you're going to guilt shame the other person? I mean, come on. Stop it. I don't get it anymore. I mean, I guess I'm getting at the age. Like I said, I'm 65. I'm one of those people who spent an entire lifetime that I can remember, where my mother had the holidays, and then when we grew up and we got married, she would have her Christmases um, on Christmas Eve with all the kids came, with our partners and our and our children, and we spent it there. And then you were either going to go to the other in-laws' house and on the same day, trying to get everything, quit putting pressure on people and stressing people out. And then my mom usually did that so that we could spend time with our families at home on Christmas Day, that's exactly the way it should be. Don't make people think they have to be there on Christmas Day. Don't you think? I mean, who in the heck wants to get up in the morning and you got to deal with your kids, on Christmas Day? They want to open their presents. They want to spend time in their home, with mom and dad. And then all of a sudden you got to tell the kids, well, you got to get your clothes on because we got to go over to grandma's house or this, right, and there. And they're like, really? And then it starts with the next generation. It's no, stop it. Stop it. I mean, it's not like you're not going to see them. Oh, I lost my lid to my bottle now. No, I'm not drinking. Oh, I'm drinking. I'm drinking water. Okay? I don't drink alcohol anymore. I stopped that years ago in my early 20s. Or mid 20s, somewhere along in there. No, well, I think it was like my late 20s. I just got burnt out from it. That's the thing, I think it was around 28 when I kind of got burnt out, and I just don't, just wasn't for me. It was a very short-lived thing. So anyway, this hour, the 7th hour, the midday, we're going to be dealing with Mars and what actions we take. And Mars is going to be in the sextile to the past. Some people, maybe remembering things of the past. Maybe why their actions. Have you ever stopped and thought that maybe what happened in the past, this person has altered their actions now? And they just don't want to deal with the strife in their life anymore. And I think we need to think about others. Have some consideration for others as well. And you're going to be going through this through the day. Until the evening. Okay, there's nothing really major here going on after that. So y'all take care. Please have a happy holiday. Just if you don't feel like it, or you just don't have the energy, maybe it's time to start reassessing things in life. And, people need to learn to have consideration for other people's as well. You know what I mean? So, because of what is maybe going on in their life. I spent the entirety of my life helping others and being a service. Always wanting the best for everybody else, never thinking about myself. And so now, like I said, I'm 65, and now I've changed. I've changed, really big change. And it was through really not. It was what was going on in my life. It was just it's like a light switch. One day, I got up that morning, my life was like this, turned the light switch on by midday or whatever, half the day, and then all of a sudden turned the light switch on, and my life completely changed. Never to be the same again. And that's okay. I think it's for the best. Because now it's kind of gave me that realization of looking back through my life and through the years, what I did here, what I was doing there, and this and that. And it was like every time, if I even thought about having some sort of life for myself, it was like people resented it. Because I wasn't, at their beck and call? I mean, come on. Or people wanted to guilt trip me because I wasn't doing this or doing that. Or going here or going there. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, and so now I have completely changed. I'm like, I'm done. Done. I don't want to spend the rest of my life being in that position of change or being there with everyone else. Anyway, I've got somebody pulling up my driveway. Y'all take care, and I will see y'all later, okay? Love you guys, and y'all have a very Merry Christmas. I'll get the astrology out for 25, okay?